All right. It's that time again. Welcome back, regular listeners, viewers, watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. And today is such a beautiful reason, such a beautiful prompt to record the pod. And in a moment, you'll understand why. Um, so yesterday, in fact, I had this really transcend transcendental, transcending, um, transformational session with my community. And this is my core community. And it was absolutely magical. So as I was getting ready this evening, when I looked at the clock and I knew like in a couple of hours I would be recording today's daily pod, that's when I kind of reflected and this topic came to mind. But of course, before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier self-hypnosis coach and your personal guide. So let's dive into this really powerful topic, right? Especially as a digital coach, I'm sure you heard, maybe you've practiced, and maybe like me, many times you failed to be able to make gratitude a practice, right? So today's pod is aptly focusing on gratitude, and as the title suggests, embracing gratitude, right? The secret to thriving as a digital coach, and I mean that in all way, shape, and form that it truly is that moving spirit inside of us, each of us. I know that because I'm speaking from experience. I know there have been times in the past where I've been filled with gratitude and then I've not been able to figure out a way to keep the tank full or keep refilling. And so eventually the tank dries out, right? We've all been there. We've all had that experience. So today really is just a reminder that as I'm reflecting on the changes that have been happening, on the progress, on the journey so far, that um, if you're somebody, let me put it this way, as a digital coach, it's a very hard path that we have chosen. I say that with all sincerity because there are a lot of easier paths of living, of existence, but something in us many moons ago, depending on your philosophy, many um, lifetimes ago, has come into being in us. And so no matter whether we want to or not, whether we try to or not, we still are in this space, which is all about helping other people, and whether it is in the area of health or wealth, relationships, or spirituality, or even, purpose, right? Like life's purpose. It doesn't matter which area that you have been drawn to, either through, your life experiences, either through um, failures that you've had in your past, right? Obstacles that you've overcome. And that has given you this realization that, hey, you know what? If I've been able to do this, I know that there are other people out there that are suffering who, like I was, they are still the person that I used to be. So it's my duty to be able to help them, right? If you're a digital coach, and when I say digital coach here, I'm just using the reference, which is basically you are in the space of helping other people, of coaching them. However, because we live today pretty much more and more in a in many more ways digital world, right? I say that's why I use the word digital coach, right? But otherwise, you can even just say, yeah, I'm a coach, but let's just call it what it is. So, as a digital coach, you know that it is so vital, like inside of you, that you want to share this message. And in order to be able to share this message, what's really, really important is that you're able to, one, continuously keep refueling, right? It's like, the analogy of the 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 racing car, right? There's a reason why they have pit stops, because that racing car is going so fast, right, that it is constantly running out of fuel, right? It is constantly running low on, not out of, but running low on fuel, right? Running low on lubricants. So in our own lives, for the kind of work that we do, for the kind of, truly the kind of space that we hold for other people, as they are going through, um, sometimes horrific life experiences, and our role is to hold that space for them, to help them from their side to the other side, right, to this life of meaning, this life of purpose, and to really be able to live their truest, fullest lives. In this entire process, it is so important that we are able to constantly create, and not only create, but receive. Yeah, let me say it this way. It is important that we are able to receive pure fuel. We are able to hold the energy that doesn't, like, instead of it throwing us off balance, where either we get too emotional or we get caught up in our own egos, but instead we need to be, or let me put it this way, it's important that we are in a state of mind and body and heart, that we're able to receive this energy, and we're able to therefore pass it on to the people who come into our lives. And typically I'm talking in the context of the work that we do as digital coaches. Obviously, it's not just our clients or our students, but it's also the people that we work closely with. These could be, our family, our friends, our work colleagues, right? Um, for because we're running a business, a digital business, we have many tasks that it's important that we outsource it. So this gratitude, this pure fuel that we experience, it's important to be able to share it with many, right? So this is just a reminder that that if you have been struggling, right? And I always say this, and I'll remind you, right? What is the tagline? To maximize your market value. So as a digital coach, if you really, oops, yeah, we dropped sound for a second. As a digital coach, if you really want to be able to maximize your market value, it is also important that you are able to constantly do that inner work, right? That is the reason why I keep saying, right? If you are struggling at this point and you need help, right? I have been able to find a way where we go within, right? Remember, it's not about the latest and greatest new technology, or the latest and greatest new tools, right? Or access to somebody who will teach you them. No, I'm talking about you having the ability to be able to go within and to be able to make that shift internally, and not just once. See, here's the beautiful part, right? Like um, I've had this feeling that I have at this point. When I say this, let me say it again. Too many thises. So I right now feel a deep sense of gratitude, which I've been feeling through the day, which I felt yesterday and the day before. And it's been, if I look back over the last couple of days, it's been building, right? But what is more important is that There have been moments in my life before where I have felt this sense of gratitude, but then it dissipated. However, what is different this time is that I finally have a sense of why is it different this time as compared to feeling or being filled with gratitude like in the past, right? And the difference is that I have finally received that message, which is it's all about you focusing on you within, as in going inward and really being able to open yourself up to receive these messages that are meant not necessarily for you, but they're meant to go through you into the lives of your clients. And remember this, the more you're able to receive this, the more clients will be seeing you. I'll say that again. It is not about you seeing more clients will be seeing you, right? More students will be seeing you, right? Will be listening to you, will be watching you, because what you're receiving and what you're transmitting has it's no longer got on the surface, it's no longer got anything to do with you. It's just that you literally become this vehicle. You become this container. And the more you're able to keep this container pure, right? This is why, like it's like in chemistry, right? Um, the more you're able to keep your external environment pristine, the more purity you will end up with whatever product it is that you're creating. So in this case, in what is the product that we're actually creating? It is digital coaching, right? In whatever form that we're doing, right? Whether it is in health, wealth, relationships, right? Or spirituality, or even purpose. In any or all of these areas, as we are creating, as we are creating a space of purity inside us and receiving this gratitude, this is what goes out to more and more people. And they are then drawn to us. It is not about, trying to find the latest and greatest new, Facebook hack or YouTube hack or whatever. I mean, sure, it does have a role to play. I'm not denying that. However, remember, in our business, who is the product, right? It is us. So if we are having a bad day, right, by and large, that's what we are putting out into the world that day, right? If we are feeling down, if we are feeling depressed, if we are, being just self-absorbed in our own limitations, and literally like, you know, beating ourselves up for, oh, I thought it would be like this, but it's no way like it, right? Or, you know, look at so and so, and I have nothing. I mean, these are the kind of things that I know that you and I have had as experiences, right? And I mean, these are universal, especially to us, for the kind of people that we are, right? Like I said, we are not um, doing this by chance. We have taken that time in when you look back over the last couple of, even if you take it from, let's say, a period of COVID, right? Or if you've been in this line of work like me for many, many years, over a period of time, you have always sought quality, which means you have always sought to learn from the best so that you can, be your best, right? And having done all of that, you realize, well, there's more to it, right? So keeping that in mind, it is so vital, it's so important that if you're able to focus on really working within, working on yourself, and gratitude becomes one of those key ingredients that takes you forward. It's a no-brainer that your life will continue to keep leveling up, right? All right. So let me see. So this was just me sharing with you extempore. Let me see if I missed any of our points. Yeah, exactly. Right. Some of the key words, right? Amplifying abundance, nurturing positivity, right? Yeah, I mean, literally, if you think about it, when you're able to really tap into yourself, and you know, I can tell you that, when I reflect on this phase between, let's say, December to March to May, and now, right? I know for a fact that there have been lots of times where I forgot to, or where I stopped um, expressing that gratitude, where it sort of became very monotonous, right? And I've seen the ripple of that, whether it's in my day, whether it's in the quality of my output compared to how I otherwise can be or am at this point, right? So I want to leave you with this for the moment, just something to genuinely, think about, right? If you're struggling right now, and you're not able to figure out why, even if you just begin by focusing on gratitude, and maybe it's just about, thanking one person. Sometimes it's difficult to thank ourselves because we're still here doing the work. But even if there's one person that you're able to reach out to and say, thank you for, trusting in me, believing me, and believing in me. Because of that, I get to be around and I'm still doing this work, right? Even if you do something as specific and simplified as that, I know that it will have ripple effects, right? So, with that, I think I will definitely pause today's pod. And of course, if you made it to this point, and let's say you happen to be listening to or watching this on YouTube, because that's one place where you can consume this, drop me a comment and let me know that you made it. It's like to the end, right? TTE is what you can type in the comment box. I'll know that you got till this point. And if you're a digital coach that is in this um, mind frame of, mera number kab aayega, and what you're looking for is, and what you really want is to be able to maximize your market value, then because if this is not the first time that you're listening to me, you know that this is exactly why I do what I do, right? Why I work with digital coaches, why I can teach you how to maximize your market value. Why? Because I focus on using self hypnosis. So, if you're curious, or if you're just frustrated and you're like, you know what, I've tried everything else, nothing's worked, or things haven't worked. So, like that old expression, right? What do you got to lose? So, definitely reach out to me. Um, you can send me a private message. And if right now what you're looking for is to be part of either part of a group, or at least just explore what is this self hypnosis, how can this even help me, how can it help me. uh, so one is, of course, if you happen to be already in our Facebook group, it's called the Self Hypnosis Mastermind. So if you're already in that, you're already one step closer to being able to experience how that shift can happen in your life, and how you can translate this and really tap deeper into feeling that sense of gratitude, right? Having said all of this, let me just also remind you, the good news is there are lots and lots and lots of resources available online freely for you to um, experiment with, if that's what you want. If you're looking for somebody specific and somehow you happen to land here, I'd be more than happy to listen to you, to understand what it is that you're looking for. And I'm sure there is a program that will suit you, that I've already created or that I'm in the process of creating, right? All you have to do is ask. Yeah. So, like I said, the ways to reach me, one is uh, on Facebook, um, the Facebook group, Self Hypnosis Mastermind. The other is I do a Saturday workshop. It's called Mera Number Kab Aayega, which is essentially self hypnosis 101. So that's the second way that you can reach out. The third, of course, like I said, is on YouTube now. There is a YouTube podcast, which is probably where you're listening to this. If you happen to be listening to it like this, uh, drop me a message and let me know how I can help you, right? So with that, as always, like I said, a daily pod happens now daily. So uh, I will definitely be back tomorrow. And of course, as always, just remember you're not alone, right? So with that, I'm going to call today's pod. And thank you for listening, especially for those of you who made it all the way to the end. And as always, remember to live with purpose. See you tomorrow. Ta-ra.